Alright, so doing an update of my deck profile. I'm officially calling it Raw's Knights. It works with the Knights, the Jack, Queen, Joker, and so forth. Knights via King's Court support. And the main god I love running is Raw. I was using Slifer, and I'll show you the card I substitute for even better plays. And basically just locked down the field. I've won two tournaments, first place, got second place in another one, and topped a bunch of other ones, and beat top playing meta decks. I beat Sky Strikers, I beat Virtual World, I beat Tri Brigade, and it's like with the interruptions, you only have one negate, but you have a few different interruptions, and those interruptions matter, and then you proceed to OTK. That's what the deck does, it's just OTKs. And sometimes I just summon Raw just to just add more salt to injury. But let me get into this real fast, and I'll show you a few combos at the end. So we run the 1 Raw, 3 Sphere Mode, and this is the primal way that we bring out the Winged Dragon Raw, because we'll just summon out Sphere Mode, and then you can activate it, tribute itself to summon out Raw with 4,000 attack, so your life points is fine. Or you can use it to pop a monster. 3 Joker's Knights, 1 Bower, and you only need 1. It's useless running 2 more unless you want to open him up. But he's only a 1 of, because you can only use his effect. I mean, you can use his effect multiple times, but ideally, once you have the setup with the spells and the traps, you're going to have monsters on the field defending you or going offensive. So you can never plus off of his effect a second time. It's good to open up with Bower, but not to see a second one. Once you open up Bower, let's say, and then you went into like Dragoon or whatever you want to go into, then you drew a second Bower. It's like useless because you already have monsters on the field, so you can't use his effects. So I want to use it as a 1 of. 2 Queen, 2 King, 2 Jack, and of course, this is Yugi's deck, so why not Dark Magician and Red Eyes, because he had them in the tournament when he had the God cards, and why not play the fusion of this Dragoon and it's like it's Yugi's Battle City deck 2021. Now I was running Slifer, and then Slifer just pops any monster that's special summoned with 2,000 or less attack. It kept popping them if they're in attack mode, but when they're special summoned in defense mode, they stay on the field. And then I was like, I was going through my extra deck on Binder after one of the tournaments, and I came across Vanity's Ruler. Along with Vanity's Ruler, I came across Vanity's Fiend. And this is 1 tribute, this is 2 tribute, which you can bring out easy with this deck. Even if you just open up the trap, you can summon this on your opponent's turn with the trap. And if you open up the spell, you can open up this one with the spell, and this one says your opponent can't special summon, but you can. This one says neither one of you can special summon, but you're going to have 1 card in hand, and you're basically forcing them to play old school unless they negate their effects, and then they can go off still. But on average, we just locked down the field. And the reason I replaced Slifer with these cards, and I put 6 because I want to see it, basically, well, 3 and 3. Slifer pops them, that they can still special summon. These two say you can't special summon at all. So while Slifer was popping stuff, these two say you can't special summon at all, and just stopping things from even happening in the first place. And this is the spice engine into it. Like I said, if you draw the trap card, you can easily just bring this out. I'll show you the combo too. And that's it for the monsters. For the spells, you want to see them. So I run 3 Joker straight, 1 face card fusion, 1 red eyes fusion, 1 magical eyes fusion to bring out a second Dragoon if it gets that far, or just lock the field down. They never see a second one coming. And for some more spice, Dragon's Mirror. You'll see the fusion when I get to it. One Thunder Speed summon, and the reason I run one is because if you're playing the trap card, it counts as 3. It counts as 3 more. So whether you draw the trap version, the trap, or this, is like you have 4 chances of playing the same card. Like 4 copies, kind of. One Reinforcements in the army. This is mainly summoning, searching out Bower. But if you have Bower in hand, you can use this to bait out Ash, and if they Ash this, then just go for your Bower play. 2 Twin Twisters, 1 Harpies, and 1 009. That's it for the spells. And then the traps. 3 Jokers Wild. Like I said, this card copies the effect of Thunder Speed Summon, or the fusion spell card specifically for them, or the spell card Joker Straight. So it's like, essentially it's like having 4 copies of this in deck that you might draw into it if you need this at the time and you have Sphere Mode in hand. Or you can use this, even if you have Sphere Mode in hand and they go, you can use this to copy Joker Straight, and then Special Queen, search out King, and then you're allowed to normal summon. So you can normal summon Sphere Mode on their turn, and then you're interrupting by getting rid of their monsters, giving them Sphere Mode on their turn, and then you have Queen on the field and King in hand for your turn. You could just draw, summon King normally, and then summon out Jack, and then go into other plays. Another spicy card I found that's very, very good for this deck is 3 Expendable Die. You contribute one of your warrior monsters and target 1 card on the field, destroy it, and then if you do, draw a card. So it's like, let's say you're even locked under Mystic Mime, and you got your knights on the field, you contribute one of your knights for Unexpected Die, pop their Mystic Mine, and you draw a card. Or anything else, like if it's their 1 card play, you could just tribute one of your knights, pop that 1 monster that stops everything, just shuts them down, draw a card, and then you have a knight engrave to recycle with Joker Straight, so you're always getting it back. And then for the 42nd card, Imperial Order, you shut down spells, and yeah, we run a decent amount of spells, but even if you open up the trap while having Imperial Order on the field, this copies the spell, so it's like, this is the trap version of Joker Straight, and you're still good, and then you're just shutting down the spell cards. If you have Vanity's Fiend or Ruler, you're shutting down the special summon, so it's like they can't play spells, they can't special summon. And if you have Dragoon on the field, you're negating whatever trap card or any plays they're trying to do anyways. The extra deck monster, 1 Edict and the Conquering Star. You can bring this out with the fusion, and this has so much synergy with the deck. First of Dragons, this requires 2 normal monsters, so that's why we run Dragon's Mirror. You could remove any 2 of the normal knights, banish them, and bring out First of Dragons. And then I'm trying to adjust it, but it says first be fusion summoned and cannot be special summoned by other card effects. You can only control 1 First of Dragons. This card cannot be destroyed by battle except with a normal monster, and is unaffected by other monsters' effects. So if they have nothing but effect monsters on the field, they can't destroy it by battle or their monster card effects, and they can only run over it. But mainly they're gonna need like a blue eyes white dragon, and if they're not running a normalized deck, this is sitting on the field saying you can't do nothing and you can't touch me. They can't effect Valerid, they can't do nothing because it's unaffected by all monster effects. 2 Dragoons, 1 Link Spider, and I'll show you exactly why I run this, because even when you think you have bricks in hand, you can still do plays. 1 Amaduke, the World Childish Dragon, part of that same combo I'll show you. Verte Anaconda, Arcana Extra Joker, this comes in useful sometimes. Blacklisted Soldier. This is a 2-card combo I can show you. Utopia Double. Utopia Beyond. This is a nice little combo I like doing with opening up the spell card and Vanity's Ruler. And they already established a board. Utopia Constellar Pallades. Star Liege Paladino. So this drops their attack to 0, but this targets, while Beyond drops their attack to 0, all of them, and it doesn't target. 1 Excalibur, and then 1 Zeus to end off the Exceed monsters. So that's all we run. That's all you really need. So let's go into the combo. I'm gonna do the combo my friend wanted to see, and I had opened up the trap. I opened up 2 traps. Vanity's Ruler, Fiend, Bower, and the spell card, the fusion card. And he wanted to know how the hell I ended up on the board. I took a picture and posted it on Instagram. And he wanted to know how I ended up on the board and just locked the field. And basically I drew, this was my opening hand. I went first, and he had no interruptions, so I went Bower. The effect of Bower, going into King and Jack. Then I used the spell card to fuse for Eaton, and since I have a knight on the field, I can substitute a knight in deck for it. So we fuse Joker's Knight in deck with Jack on field. To bring out Edaton, the Conquering Star. And then once Edaton, the Conquering Star, hits the field, his effect is he searches out a normal, a level 5 warrior. So with his effect, we search out Joker's Knight. Then we activate Joker's Knight's effect by sending Queen to grave as cost, special summoning Joker's Knight. Then we link into Verte Anaconda. Then we use Verte Anaconda's effects. Sending the spell. Sending Red Eyes and Dark Magician to grave at the cost of 2,000 light points to bring out Dragoon. And this is ending. This is hand. We set these two on end phase. Joker's Knight recycles itself by putting back a knight. So we put back Queen, and this is useful because now we can use this for fodder for the other card. So then we pass turn. My opponent summons a monster. No, he plays a spell card. He plays a spell card, and I activate Joker's Wild first, and then he responds with another spell, a quick play, and I play Imperial Order. So then this negates both of his spells, and then Joker Wild activate, and I send Joker straight to the graveyard, and then since that goes off, we have to send a card to resolve its effect. So we send Joker's Knight in hand. We special with Queen to the field. Searched out King, and then Joker's Wild also says you can immediately summon a monster after special summoning Queen. So we tribute Verte for Vanity's Fiend. And then couldn't play spells. He can't special summon monsters. And we have Joker's Knight in hand, so if he does anything, we just negate it with Dragoon, and he just surrenders because he has nothing. Even if he set a monster, we would just pop it, and this is already 3-3-2. That's over 8,000. He had no out, so that was the combo I did to just lock the field. Now I'll show you another combo where it's you want to bring out you'll basically just need Bauer and the spell card to do multiple different things. Like just these two alone is multiple different end boards you can do. So again, what I normally do is summon out Bauer, activate effects, and sometimes I bring out Queen and Jack, but it depends, like I said. Bring out King and Jack, then use the fusion card to fuse from deck to bring out Eaton. Then Eaton's effect activates, bringing out Joker's Knight. Special Joker by sending a knight to the graveyard, and then basically Verte, going into Verte, and then going into Dragoon. That's all for just 2 cards. Now, going back a step, if you wanted to, you have King on field, you special summon him by sending a knight, and you have Conquering Star on the field, and depending on the game that you're playing in the matchup, at this point, you have 3 monsters, and you have a level 8. So then you can just link all of these away, because you're not tied. You're not tied under any restriction because you didn't play the spell card, and you can just go into Blackluster Soldier. And then on end phase, this is your graveyard. You can just recycle by putting back, plus you have 3 more cards because this was just a 2-card combo. And then at the end of their turn, if they didn't have nothing, and you could just recycle back by putting one of the other 2 knights back in your deck, and then you start your turn with 2 jacks, 2 Joker's Knight. There was a tournament, I had 2 queens in hand, and I was like, what the hell can I do? I'm forced to just set. And then while I was thinking, I was like, oh, I can do something if I have the card, but you know how you learn with every loss and every win, you learn something else about your deck to improve. So there was one game, I won game 1 and won game 3, so I won the match. But game 2, I had opened up 2 queens, and I didn't have nothing else to do anything. I was forced to set, destroy, and he beat me. But then when I went home, I was like, what can I do even if I went into queen? If I drew into queen, like, you want to optimize every possibility of no matter what hand you have to do something. And if they have no hand traps or anything, like, you're good and you're still doing something. So I was like, what can I do with the queens? And then I thought about it, and I was like, oh, Link Spider. Because I looked up what monsters require normal monsters as tribute and could do something. So now I was like, alright, normal, Link away for... This is when Link Spider comes into effect. And then Link Spider has the effect of, you can special summon a level 4 or lower normal monster. So the first queen went to Link Spider, the second queen gets special summoned, pointing to where Link Spider's at, and then you can link for Chalice, which requires a normal monster as well. Now you have 2 effect monsters. Then link them away, obviously. Going into the same freaking thing. going into Verte, which goes into Dragoon uninterrupted, if it goes uninterrupted. So I was like, all right, since you had two queens in hand, you could literally end on, if it's uninterrupted, you can end on Dragoon Verte. Or for two queens in hand. So whoever thought you have two vanillas in hand, you would have thought there were two bricks. You can still play combos and everything from there. Then other interruptions are basically having the trap card, and whether you have Fiend or Sphere Mode, it's either or of these. But even if you have the trap card, you're like, all right, I can't do nothing, I went first. I can't do nothing, I went first. All I can do is set. So then you set. He normal summons a monster or special summons. You have options of interruption if you want, or just shut him down if you want, depending on what you have. So if you only have Sphere Mode with the trap, once he summons his third monster and you know he has nothing else after that, you can play Joker's Wild, and you have two options with Joker's Wild, and I would go with the first choice of my choosing, and you would use it to send the spell to the graveyard, because now you're going to have the spell in the grave, and you have two cards that will recycle, and you can keep going from there. But you can either go into Joker straight, or it's on the speed summon. But like I said, I normally go for Joker straight, because then this will copy this. You have other cards in your hand. I'm just saying these are the two card combo, but you have other cards in your hand. And then you discarded one of the other cards to copy this effect, which is specialing out Queen, searching King, and then you're allowed to immediately normal summon. So then you can Sphere Mode their field off of Joker's Wild copying Joker straight. Not only that, this card just gave you King, and you have Queen on the field. So on your turn, you can just summon Queen, which special summons Jack, and then go from there. Now, if you opened up, it's basically the same thing. If you open up just these two, and you know you have three other cards in hand, and you open up these two, you just set. They go, they summon a monster, or let's say they play Mystical Space Typhoon, or whatever the case is, Lightning Storm. You just chain to it, special out Queen, search King, and then you're allowed to immediately normal summon. So you just tribute Queen for Vanity's Fiend, and now they're locked out of special summoning monsters, and if they have no outs or nothing to negate his effect, they normally, if they have back row, they'll set it. If not, they won't. If they're playing just monster effects, they can't special summon, and they're high level monsters, they just pass turn. And now you have a King in hand on Vanity's Fiend, and then you just normal summon from there, and just, you know, you nip away at their life points little by little, but at least you're not getting OTK'd. So that just locks the field. And if you're lucky enough, if your deck gracefully gives you Joker straight, this would be the last two combos, basically all for the same thing. If your deck gives you Joker straight and you went first, you play Joker straight, activating, you know, discarding one of the other cards as cost, special King, Queen, normal King, and then bring out Jack. And then you got three monsters on board for free. You just tribute two. Tribute two of them. Vanity's Ruler. Now this says your opponent can't special summon but you're allowed to special summon. So if you drew into the trap too, you can just set the trap and then fuse Jack's Knight with the trap. So the trap copies face card fusion going into your Eaton play. And then what this allows you to do is now you have the spell in the graveyard, the trap, and once you bring out Eaton, you sent one of the Joker's Joker's Knight to the graveyard, and you searched one. Since when Eaton special summoned, he searches one. So you would have sent one to the graveyard to bring out Eaton with him if you had the trap card with it, and then he brings out another one. So it's like basically your hand is this. On their turn, your trap fuse this for Eaton, and this is in hand. Eaton's 3, 4, 5, and then your turn goes. If they have nothing, you could just special summon. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7,400 damage, and you did recycle your spell and traps, and so you could just play them and just OTK from there. But it's basically floodgating. The other way is there's times they had monsters. They had big monsters on the field, and they negated a few cards, and I ended up being the last card I had was I had a spare card in hand. They negated everything else, and I had one card in hand, Joker Straight and Vanity's Fiend. So then I played Joker Straight, ditching the other card, and I summoned out all the knights. So Queen came out, normal summoning King, bringing out Jack, and these monsters had like super high attack. And basically, what you do is, you want to lock them with him, but you don't want him to be ran over by their attack. So you exceed first. Into Utopia Double, then using Utopia Double's effect, detach to bring double or nut into your hand. Then I always use him to bring out Utopia Beyond. This drops their attacks, all of their attacks to 0, and then you got 19 and 6,000 because his attack is double because of Utopia Double. They're in attack mode. Destroy 2 of them. They take 7,900 damage, and then just tribute for Vanity's Ruler. Now they can't special summon no more, and whatever monsters they have left have 0 attack. You don't have to worry about them running over him because he's now stronger. He's Dark Magician status, 2,500 attack, and then your spell card recycles. Your knights recycle, so then he won't be on the field by himself. So when you go, again, whatever monsters they have left, you could just summon out 3 more knights, and then just get rid of their board and go from there. And they only have 100 light points, so it's like just summon something, just pop them, and basically that. And then if you have one monster, you could just, there's multiple things depending on what you want to do. But I think the deck, like with the floodgates, just we're better than Slifer because Slifer pops, but it still allows him to special summon, while Vanity's Ruler and Vanity's Fiend prevents them from special summoning point blank. So I'm running these instead of Slifers. As much as I love Slifer, I just wish he had more support. And that is it for our God Knights deck support, our deck profile. So like it runs with the sphere modes and stuff, interruptions, and everything else. So that's why I call it Raw's Knights. So it's like the Knights to bring out the God card. The God card this one brings out fear mode, interrupts, and you can interrupt on their turn. Going into Raw, when Raw comes out with fear mode, he comes out with 4,000 attack. So that's the route I use, and he can special summon from hand or deck to bring him out. And then even if you bring him out with his effect, he's 4,000. You play the spell card, bringing all the knights, all of their attack together is 5,000. plus 4,000 for 9,000 attack damage if they're wide open and they have nothing, or you sphere mold them and they couldn't do nothing, and then you get back sphere mode. Or there's even funnier times where I have a field, they're sphere mode me, and then they'll end their turn on just sphere molding me, and I'll go. I'll use their sphere mode to bring out my raw, and then go into my knights and then OTK them. It's just funny. Like, oh, you play raw? I'm like, yeah, it's a god deck. It's my god deck, my version. So let me know what you think.